Royal College grounds. School song for Isipathana now ringing across this Reed Avenue ground. Very much home territory for the Royalists, of course. And Isipathana have, it's good to see they haven't really objected to the venue at all. They've not said that the venue should be moved because Royal College is one of the finalists, and that's good to see. It's good to see the teams playing in a spirit of cooperation. It wasn't long ago that these two teams were in a very controversial circumstances where a match had to be called off. Royal College walked off the grounds on the allegation that Isipathana were playing too rough in that game. That was about a year ago, actually, not last season, but the season before that. But it's good to see that they've put all that behind them. And they came out and played an outstanding game of rugby between each other in the league tournament this time. It was 15 points to 14 in favour of Isipathana. Nimshan Jayawardena had several chances to win that game in the last few minutes of the match. He had about 3 shots at goal, all of which he missed, but he has really improved his place kicking since then. And now the Royalists sing their school song. Ringing out much louder in this pavilion that we're in, the Sky Pavilion as it's called. I hope they got some money back from the architects because sky all right, but you can't see the touchline from where you are. That's the center combination for Royal will be very important. Akash Iddavela and Banuka Gamage especially in their defensive role. Gail Jasing at the end playing at number 10. Started off the season at number 9, but now he's been replaced there by Vinit Gunawardena and coach Sanath Martis, thinking that his skills are better used at fly half, and that's not a bad call at all. Gail Jasing, a very intelligent player, can be a little soft sometimes when he gets rattled, but he's only very young, and I think he'll grow into a player of immense stature for Royal. But he has been used very, very well. Good option taker as well. Got a good boot. Got a good wide game also. So whether he can get Banuka Gamage into the game, that's Royal's most dangerous player in the 3 quarters. If they can get him into the game, then they might mix things up a little bit for the Isipathana defense. But for the moment, it's going to be the front 5 of Royal who are going to be their main match winners. Let's wait and see how they go about that. And the referee also for the evening will have a tough job on his hands, because you can rest assured that both these teams will be contesting the breakdown very furiously. And Royal have been very aggressive, very physical at every contact. And I think Isipathana will meet their match today because they have been as well. So Shanal Silva will have to make sure that his side keeps the discipline, as do Royal. They'll have to keep all their players on the park. If you remember the semi-final against Trinity, Trinity succumbed because they had 2 players sent off the park. They had Basu Tilakaratna and Sanka Athulgama, their biggest players, sent off by referee Priyantha Gunaratna. And after that, it ceased to be a contest in the face of the Royal forward onslaught. And as a result of that, I think Isipathana will have to make sure that they keep their players on the pitch. That's going to be the most important thing for them, to have 15 on 15 at all times in this game. Isipathana will have to do their best to keep the ball out of the hands of Nimshan Jayawardena at fullback. For Royal, the captain, he's been having a stellar season. After the Bradby, Royal have really improved, and that's a real shame for this Royal team that the Bradby came so early in the season, because they've gotten better and better as the season went on. And they're probably playing their best rugby at this moment in time. So that sees the end of the school anthems. And the ground staff move out the trophy. That's in the middle of the grounds. We see the Royal huddle on the right side of the field. So there's no real wind to speak of here. Nothing like Hambantota was yesterday evening or yesterday morning for the Sri Lanka cricket team. Not a lot going on here in terms of wind, so Royal won't really have a lot to decide, or neither will the Isipathanians in terms of changing their game plans for each half. But what they will have to do is maintain consistency. So as the sun also is not going to be too much of a problem. Which side the sun goes down, not going to be too much of an issue. And as you see, the Isipathanians also having their final words. Captain Shanal Silva will be the one who has to lead from the front. Omalka Gunaratne, the man in that number 8 jersey, with his left calf muscle and hamstring all taped up. I hope that's not a serious injury. But Omalka Gunaratne has been one of the stars of the season. Alongside Tarindra Ratwat, he has been probably the standout player with the ball in hand. And alongside Shanal Silva, he is going to have to do a job today. Still at the toss time. Referee today is Irshad Kader, having a word to the two captains, Shanal Silva and Nimshan Jayawardena. Now that's going to influence the game as well, of course. Referee Irshad Kader will slow the game down, which will play nicely into the hands of this Royal College team, who will not want to run about too much. They'll be very happy that Kader is a referee today, because he's a man who likes giving penalties. And it doesn't matter which way they go. I think Royal will also be able to compete at defensive line-out time. Chandula Chulabandara has been outstanding for them in the defensive line-out, and that's something that we're going to be able to see at its best today, I'm sure, because Isipathana's line-out hasn't been fantastic. They go to Pereira in the middle most of the time, as they do to Shanal Silva in the front. But we'll have to wait and see whether Chandula Chulabandara can upset the rhythm of the team at line-out time. A lot will depend on him as well, the number 6 for Royal College. Referee having a pretty long chat with the two captains. Don't know how much of it they can absorb at this moment in time with all that pressure. But doesn't deter him. He's having a long lecture. If you're watching in Kandy, a lot of you must be disappointed that there's no Kandian representation. It's an all-Colombo final. Isipathana came very, very close, and unfortunately Kingswood, who are very good in the league, have chosen not to take part in this knockout tournament due to a lot of injuries that they suffered in the course of their season. Lots going on, of course, off the field as well for these schools to have to manage. They need to manage all their resources, and it's never easy. And two rich traditions in Royal and Isipathana coming together here, rich rugby traditions. It's also interesting to note the coaches, Dushant Leuke, the forwards and assistant coach from the Royal College team, is up against some of his old mates. Anuranga Walpola and Dinesh Kumar played against him in 2002 when Royal were unbeaten, but they both these teams played out a draw in 2002, a 5-all draw. Dinesh Kumar scoring the try. Anuranga Walpola captained that team, and Dushant Leuke was part of that team for Royal College, which was captained by Rajat Zulki Hamid, actually. And now finally, after quite a few minutes of waiting, the teams run out. So it will be Isipathana to attack from right to left. Royal still in their huddle. Lot being said by the coaches, lot being said by the captain. This is an all-important game, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final of the President's Trophy Knockout Tournament, and it's going to be a cracking encounter. That much we can guarantee you. And you'll watch all the action live on www.thepapare.com. Exclusive streaming of this match all over the world, and wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this fantastic game as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. We're just about ready for kickoff here at the Royal College Stadium. Home grounds for the Royalists, playing from left to right. Nimsham Jayawardene, the captain, with the ball in hand. He's lost out on the biggest trophy for Royal this year. But the former Trinitian, can he bring some glory with this knockout tournament? A long kick knocked down to Gallagher. And Surya Bandara clears that one into touch. So Royal will have the first option of a line out. And this is going to be very dangerous. This could be the first points on the board for Royal College, because they've got that deadly rolling maul. And they've got to be very careful that they don't put this ball out into touch in their 22 Isipathana. They've done just that in the opening minutes of the game. Let's wait and see how Royal react here. Taken in the back nicely. They set it up. Now that's the maul that we've all been dreading. So difficult to stop. Good body position those for Isipathana. Looks like they've done quite a bit of work. It's moving sideways. The referee's got to call it. He's got to say use it now, because that maul has not gone forward. Excellent work by Isipathana. Excellent work. And that'll really demoralize the Royalists, because they would have expected to rumble that one over from 10 meters out. But some outstanding body position and great commitment in defense by the Isipathana players. And that was a game-changing moment there, because we've seen Royal coming into this game and many games expecting that rolling maul to work its wonders. And here, with both teams fresh, Royal have taken a back step on that rolling maul. So let's see how this affects the psyche of the Royal College team. The first scrum for Isipathana. Surya Bandara to Freed. Omalka Gunaratna controls at the back. And Surya Rachi takes it back. Well recycled by Columbage, who plays in the flank position. Omalka Gunaratna going sideways. His captain is with him though. They'll look to clear this now. Kongahawatta on his left boot. That's a good enough kick from the young fly half. Isuru Kongahawatta. He started off at fullback. Started off also as the place kicker of the team. But he's been relieved of those duties because he wasn't doing as well as he should have. And Isuru Dilshan is the man who's taken over. And he has been doing an outstanding job from the second row position. So another line out for Royal. Let's see what they do from here. They'll probably go for the maul again. They're just a couple of meters outside the 22. Taken in the front by Chula Bandara. Vinitha Gunawardena. That's a nice spot there. Moved forward. Royal shifting it between two pots. Gail Jayasinghe. That's a big tackle. Big tackle on Akash Iddavela there. And he's knocked the ball forward. Akash Iddavela. Wrapped up ball and all. It was an outstanding tackle. Superb work by the Isipathana defense. So both times that defense has been tested, it has come up trumps. The fourth official is on the park at this point. I think he's having a word with some people below us here at this media box, saying that they've got to move away from the touchline. Referee Ishad Kada is putting people back over the fence. She'll have a bit of a hold up in play. A few words being exchanged between Surya Rachi, the scrum half, and the Royal hooker. That's Supun Vannakola Surya, a good ball carrier for the Royalists. And it's the second scrum of the game. That ball was not hooked. Surya Rachi rather. I keep calling him Surya Bandara. After, of course, that wonderful Isipathana scrum half, Suri, plays for Sri Lanka in the 7th circuit so brilliantly. That ball wasn't hooked though. Royal tried to swing it round. And the referee will have to be very careful about what goes on in the front rows. Both packs very savvy. So the referee will be tested. Here it goes. Omalka Gunaratna has it at the back. Offloads to Surya Rachi. That's lovely play. That's to Isuru Dilshan. Nice little interchange of passes there. Kongahawatta puts it up, and Gallagher has gone after it. Gallagher has come forward off his hands, and Silva knocked the ball on. The referee said there were 2 knock-ons. Not sure he's got that one correctly. Gallagher seemed to knock it backwards into the hands of Silva, his centre. But unfortunately, referees called a knock-on the Royal winger on that side. That is Sajad Irshad. So another scrum, this time for the first time in attacking position for Kongahawatta and his Isipathana team. Let's see whether they want to run it from here. Surya Rachi. But Vinith Gunawardena offside. Getting in front of the ball, the Royal College scrum half. And Kongahawatta will step in. They're not going for the points. They don't have that much distance on them through Dilshan. But they will try to go to the corner to get an attacking position. And that's a good enough kick just inside the 22. Assistant referee Mushtaq raises his flag. So it's the first line out in attacking territory for Isipathana. In fact, it's their first line out of the match. Probably go to Silva in the front. He dummies, so they'll go at the back. It's nicely taken at the back by Pereira. They've set up their own maul now. They scored off a brilliant maul in the last game between these two sides. Omalko Gunaratna comes away. Gunaratna going for the corner. Can he offload? Yes, he can. Surya Rachi almost in at the corner. Now they've got to recycle this quickly. Still there. Gunaratna waits, standing over the ball. It's available, but looks like Royal might have turned this one over. In fact, they have. And Jayasinghe from his own dead ball line into the hands of Gallagher. Gallagher will try to run it now, but the referee has already blown his whistle. And there's a knock forward that he's called. And the referee will come back for that. He rules that there's no advantage there. Jayasinghe under severe pressure, but honestly, if the referee had seen that knock-on before from Isipathana, why did he allow play to carry on that fast, that long, before he blew the knock-on? Gunawardena waits to feed into the defensive scrum now. Isipathana through Darling and Disanayake will put on some real pressure. They try to swing it round, but it's straight up and boring in, says the referee. It's a prop forward on the loose head side that's penalized. And rightly so, because that looked very much like the prop bow in from the left side. And Gael Jayasinghe will put his team out of immediate trouble, but not a lot of distance. He's still inside his 22, but they will have the ball. So it's been a good opening passage of play from both teams. Few mistakes littering it, but both teams have shown intent. It's taken again in the line out, but seemed to be a knock on there again. Referee's got his arm up. And it's very difficult to see anything here in this Royal media box. On one side we're covered by flags, the other side the touchline is not available, and the sun is in our eyes blinding us as well. It's not the greatest facility in the world. Big run by the Isipathana player. Surya Rachi waits. That's Gunaratna. Omalko Gunaratna spinning out of 2 tackles. He's a danger man. Now they're there, and Surya Rachi has it again. Oh, that's knocked forward, is it? Yes, it is. Isipathana's hands letting them down again. And Jayasinghe will punt this one into Kongahawatta's feet. And Kongahawatta will run this back. There he goes, a little fly half, dancing down the touchline. Good work from the Isipathana players who went in there, but the referee says that there were hands in that ruck. Kongahawatta, who went to ground, played the ball back, and that's Unfortunate. Usually the ball carrier plays the ball back a little bit, but referee Richard Carter very strict on him there. And all around us here in this Royal Media box, everyone in the Sky Pavilion is standing up because they can't see a thing really. The referee is already having problems with what's happening. Having a word with Dimitri Vijayatunga, who is one of the coaches for the Isipathana team. And this is Supun Vannakolasuriya to throw in. That's well stolen there by Pereira. Pereira did brilliantly well, but rescued by Shaukat Lahir. Lahir winning the ball back from his team after it was stolen beautifully by Pereira in the middle. And this is Jayasinghe with a long ball out to Bhanuka. This is Nimshan Jayawardena. The defense is stretched now. Coming back in was Sajad Irshad. Good defense drifting from Isipathana there, but Royal now looking dangerous. This is Gunawardena. Give it to his big prop forward, Tivanka Pereira. Pereira knocks the ball on. And both sides unfortunately being let down, but Isipathana really under the cosh there because Royal were looking fantastic, moved the ball wide nicely. Nimshan Jayawardena had to straighten to put Sajad Irshad into space, but Irshad came back into play nicely and the forwards were there for Royal. They just had to hold on to the ball, and Tivanka Pereira made some good ground but unfortunately lost the ball. So player down on the ground there, it's number 3, Disanayaka, the big prop. He's got a habit of going down when things are looking hairy for his team. Just gives them a little bit of a breather. So Isipathana now will have a defensive scrum. It's been end-to-end stuff. It was just moments ago that Isipathana won a scrum on the Royal line. And now they have a defensive scrum. So nice to see this to and fro sort of game. But still no real quality in it as yet. Probably the two best conditioned sides meeting each other. Trinity also a very good side in terms of strength and conditioning. But that was a good drive by Royal College. Wonderful drive by the Royalists. Have they managed to drive it over? That's an outstanding shove by the Royal College team. And the ref brings it back. Says it's held up. And they'll bring it back for the attacking scrum for Royal. Now that's a real body blow. Isipathana's scrum has been good all season, but that was absolutely demolished by Royal College. Such strength. Outstanding work from their tight 5. I told you at the outset of this game that their tight 5 is going to be their most potent weapon, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. A stunning performance there by the Royal College tight 5. Nikhila Gunawardena will be fancying his chances here. Vinith Gunawardena, what's he going to do? He was well taken there by Surya Rachi. Should have let the ball go, he didn't. And the referee's got his arm up for a penalty. And yes, it's the correct call. It's absolutely the correct call from the referee, because Vinith Gunawardena, who had the ball in his hand, was tackled beautifully by Surya Rachi. And when Surya Rachi took him to ground, he didn't release. Vinith Gunawardena didn't release the ball. He got up again, and that was what referee Richard Carter pinged him for. So Isipathana doing well there in defense. I thought that Royal should have probably kept the ball with their forwards and tried to walk that one over the line, because their previous scrum had been so successful. But this is where Royal sometimes depart from what has worked for them, and end up coming back 20 meters. Isipathana with the line out. Columbage to throw in. In fact, it's Desatha to throw in. Well taken by Pereira, who has been going to number 5 or 6. Royal trying to take that ball away from Chandula Chula Bandara, the outstanding line-out jumper for Royal. And that's hacking down, says the referee, pulling down. So Royal getting a taste of their own medicine. And Isipathana just trying to wear them down. They're trying to wear this tight 5 down. That'll be their game plan. Whether the Royal tight 5 can last this entire 80 minutes is what Isipathana will have to ask them. Have to really ask the questions, because the Pathana team has been pretty good. But unfortunately for them, just looking at this team, Rankotke, one of their key players, also seems to have a heavily bandaged left knee, so not sure how good he's going to be with the ball in hand. He has been outstanding in the outside center position as well. Isipathana going short in the line out, only 4 men. Shenal Silva. And that was Chula Bandara. Outstanding defensive jump from him. This is the guy I was talking about, so dangerous. And Gunawardena will now look to use that turnover ball, but Gael Jayasinghe puts it into touch on the full. That's a bad mistake from the young fly half. You can see what he was trying to do. He was going to put it on a pin just so that the ball will bounce out and they will get the attacking line out to try for Chula Bandara to try again. But unfortunately, that didn't happen for Jayasinghe that time around. So Chula Bandara has already made his presence felt, and Shenal Silva this time using his brains, going to the back. Isuru Dilshan bundling the ball forward and offloading nicely to Amalka Gunaratne, and an uncharacteristic knock-on from the star number 8. So a nice midfield scrum for Royal to attack from. It's a lovely platform that their forwards will give them. And let's see which way Jayasinghe chooses to go. He's got attacking weapons, Nimshan Jayawardena and Bhanuka Gamage. They're both going to the one side, are they? Well, no, actually Bhanuka's gone to the right of the scrum. It's off your screen at the moment. And Nimshan's on the left. I'm sure he'll come in as first receiver. Vinith Gunawardena. Nikila controls it at the back. Gunawardena goes to Jayasinghe. Jayasinghe fumbles and puts it deep for Kongahawatta to kick out. And the young fly half returns it with interest to his opposite number, Gael Jayasinghe, who again fumbles the ball. Kongahawatta has chased his own kick, and Suryarachi does well to bring down the Royal attacker. And now Jayasinghe with another chance. And Rehan Silva covers that one nicely. Now they've got space. Silva inside to Gallagher. Gallagher still going. Gallagher! And he's over. He's saying Nimshan Jayawardena cannot get him. Yes, he does. Outstanding. Try to Isipathana. Gallagher with an outstanding finish. Superb work by Rehan Silva. Drew and passed inside. Took the man out. And Gallagher had it all to do. Stepped inside. Nimshan Jayawardena had got back nicely in defense. Did his best. But Gallagher, under the attention of referee Mushtaq, went over in the corner and scores the first try for the favourites. This little man, Gallagher, DM Gallagher, he and Punchiheva have been the smallest wingers in this circuit so far in the Schools League. But they have come up with some outstanding tries. And that was a good kick from Kongahawatta, which was well followed up. And Jayasinghe forced into a bad kick that Rehan Silva really read well. Rehan Silva then moved outside, worked a scissor beautifully with his winger, Gallagher, who stepped in, stepped out, and had one man to beat. That was the Royal captain. And didn't he do it well? So it's 5-0 with Isuru Dilshan's conversion to come. It's a difficult kick for the second row forward, but he's going to try his best. Now hush goes out across the grounds for the moment. I'm sure the Royal... Well, that's a nice silence. Good to see from the Royal. Nicely sporting from the Royal spectators. Very sporting from them to keep silent while Isuru Dilshan took that shot at goal. But it's a wide and a Royal trail 5 points to 0. We're coming up to about the end of the first quarter, just under 20 minutes played. It's a charge down, but I don't think that's a good thing for Royal because it went down off the Royal player, which means it's not an attacking line out, it's a defensive line out for Royal. But still a psychological edge after having that kick charge down. Let's see whether Chula Bandara can work his magic here as well. Shanal Silva at the front and Pereira at the back. One of the two will be the targets for Desitha. Shanal. Dummies, but goes up again the second time. That was nicely done by the captain and flanker. He's been very good at changing the calls and making sure he keeps that Royal defensive line out guessing. Reacted beautifully to the steal by Chula Bandara early on in the game. Changed things up. And now Gunaratna. Gunaratna for the first time in this game gets a couple of meters of space. Moved it outside the 22, so they have to be careful now. Kongahawatta puts it up. Charge down again. And that was nicely collected by Nikila Gunawardena, the Royal number 8. And now here's a big front row forward. They're going to keep it tight here, the Royalists. Here we go. This is Wanda Kulasurya. He's one of their chief ball carriers. Vinitha Gunawardena waits for it. And now he gives it to Jayasinha, who goes wide to Bhanuka. Bhanuka moving outside. But Kongahawatta managing to grab onto him. Royal moving laterally now. Good tackle by Disanayaka. The prop needs to get back, and a good contest at the breakdown. And Royal have a penalty now in very kickable distance. And you can rest assured that Nimshan Jayawardena will take the points on offer here. So good pressure, good sustained pressure from the Royal College team. Using their big forwards, hitting it up. And eventually the pressure telling on the Isipathana defense. They had to concede a penalty. And unfortunately not the same silence that was apparent when Isaru Dilshan was taking his kick. But Nimshan Jayawardena doesn't let that worry him one bit. So it's 5 points to 3 here. In the cup final, the President's Trophy Cup final in the Milo Schools knockout tournament. Isipathana the favourites playing the challengers Royal, who have beaten Trinity in a giant killing performance in the semi-finals. Do they have another big game on their hands? Kongahawatta to kick off. It's a nice kick fielded by Irshad. And Nimshan Jayawardena puts it into touch. And Rehan Silva. And this is because the ball was taken back. Has to come all the way back. So Nimshan Jayawardena, another lapse in concentration. It's the same mistake that cost Tarinder Ratwata and his Trinity team last week in the semi-final. And Jayawardena hasn't learned from his old schoolmate's mistake. Desitha will fancy this one. And it'll be very interesting to see what they call here. Isipathana, will they go to the back? Yes, they will. They go to the middle. And that's nicely set up. Let's see whether Royal can defend what they do so well. And that's a beautiful maul. Nicely set up there by Omarka Gunaratna. Gunaratna's going. Is he going to go all the way? The big number 8. No, he's not. But big ball. This is Silva. Silva to Rankotke. Rankotke is going into the corner. Is he? No, he's not. Outstanding cover defense from Royal College. But that was superb work from Isipathana off that line out. Their maul worked brilliantly. Gunaratna banged his way in, took about 3 defenders, and Silva had Rankotke on his outside. Somebody needed to straighten the line. But unfortunately for the Pathanians, they were bundled into touch by some good cover defense by the Royalists. Let's see whether they can keep this pace going, the Royal College team, for the rest of this half. Chula Bandara takes it at the front. Isipathana immediately put pressure on their kicker, and Shenal Silva charges that one down. And so it'll be a 5-meter scrum for the Isipathanians. Outstanding work from the captain once again. He really has been the unsung hero. Omalka Gunaratna has been very much the sung hero, if you can use that phrase. But the unsung hero has been Shenal Silva. He has been really outstanding. On the open side, on the blind, in the line out as a leader. And Surya Rachi now barking orders to his front five. They've got to have a big scrum here. The referee having a chat with the Royal forwards as well, saying, I don't want any monkey business here. Gunaratna looks like he might peel off the back. He's going to bind down in the number 1 channel. So watch for him coming off the back. Columbage on the open side here. And Omalka Gunaratna goes off the blind. Almost over. That was lovely channel 1 ball. Quick as a flash. And are they over? No, they aren't. No, they aren't. Referee says he'll come back for another try, another crack at it. And that was outstanding work by the front five again. Superb channel 1 ball. As soon as Surya Rachi fed it, the ball was back in the hands of Omalka Gunaratna. Wonderfully quick channel 1. And that's what you want to see as a number 8 also. You want to see that ball just flashing into your hands quickly so that you can do what you like. And I think Gunaratna should really have gone the other way instead of breaking into the open side. Now he goes the other way. Let's see whether he can do it now. Nikila Gunawardena with a lovely tackle on his opposite number. But they're there for Isipathana, the green shirts. Royals defense holding now. Good tackle on the fringes. Nikila Gunawardena again. Bang, bang, and he's over! That's a try for Isipathana. You can't keep this boy down, Omalka Gunaratna. Whether it's from long range or short, he's deadly. His body position is outstanding. And it's 10 points to 3. He had 3 cracks at it. And the third time he was lucky. Omalka Gunaratna has scored again. He scored in almost every match. In fact, it probably is every match that Isipathana have played. And he won't score a more important try than that here in this cup final. Outstanding discipline from the Isipathana team. And Royal find themselves 7 points adrift with the conversion to come. Isro Dilshan now. The big second row forward. Unusual sight to see a second row forward kicking, but he does it beautifully. We're in the 28th minute of the game. And Isipathana are 12 points to 3 ahead. Can the Royal forwards last this distance? That's the key question. Can that rolling maul or can all this contest at the breakdown last for the 80 minutes? There's 60 or 50 or more of them to go. Nimsham Jayawardena kicks off deep. Gunaratna points to Surya Rachi to take it. And Gallagher dots it down. And that's a scrum right back where he kicked it. It was a bad mistake. It was an immediate touchdown by Gallagher, who did well. And it's a scrum down to Isipathana in the center of the field. So Isipathana not really knowing what that rule was. I think Gallagher just had the luck of the draw, because if he took a couple of steps before touching that one down, it would have been a 22-meter dropout. But now, because it was an immediate touchdown, they come right back to halfway, and they have a lovely attacking platform from which to unleash maybe Rankotke, maybe Silva, maybe even Rehan Silva, who's standing to the left of your screen. Surya Rachi waits, but it's untidy ball. It's great work by the Isipathana front, by the Royal front five rather. They're having a word. Referee telling Disanayaka what he expects from him, that he can't use his head in an illegal way. And now what was a defensive scrum has turned into a nice attacking platform for Royal. Let's see whether Nikila Gunawardena will break away here. I think he might. He looks set for it. Haven't seen enough running from the Royal number 8. He's a good physical specimen. But an early engagement, and it's a quick tap taken by Surya Rachi. Here's Silva. Silva stepping in, but it's a good tackle by Akash Iddawala. He's lost the ball, Silva. And Gal Jayasinghe kicking that one into touch because he wanted the scrum. But it was a very important tackle by Akash Iddawala. And it was a bad miss by Silva, the centre for Isipathana. He's gone down and stayed down, unfortunately, for the Pathanians. But it looks like it's only a cramp. They'll want him back quickly. But it's so important that all these players rehydrate. It's very hot and humid in Sri Lanka at the moment, obviously. And it's a very hot day today as well. So you need to take more hydration on board than you otherwise would. In fact, that's the big second row who stayed down. Bandara, who started life as a flank forward. Now he's moved into the front row position at prop. So clearly these Isipathana forwards having difficult time of it, choosing where their best position is, because they've got multi-skills. Bandara, Dilshan, guys who have played in different positions. That's a great shove through, but referee says that is illegal. And they've got to be very careful that Disanayaka stays on the pitch. Shenal Silva having a word with the referee, or the referee having a word with Silva. And Disanayaka's got to be very careful that he doesn't get sent off here. But he's going to argue his case, of course. Disanayaka's going to say, look, sir, I'm only pushing through. And if the opposition can't hold its ground, what do you expect me to do? And that's a very legitimate concern from the big prop forward. Because clearly he's a better scrummager than the man on the other side of the scrum. This is Shahir Hanifa. So he's saying it's boring in the referee. It'll be interesting to see how he polices that in the next couple of scrums. Gal Jayasinghe uses that short jab of his to get his team into opposition territory with the line out now. He'll probably choose to maul it a little bit from here to wear down the Isipathana defense. And Rehan Silva comes into first receiver in the defensive line out for Isipathana. And that is lost. Well taken there at the back by Kolobage, the flanker. And Surya Rachi to Silva. Silva gives it to Rankotke now. Rankotke. Punchiheva. Punchiheva. Bundled into touch by Daniel Gulasekaram. And Bhanuka Gamage. Got across nicely the Royal defense. But Isipathana grabbing those opportunities with open arms. They really need someone to straighten it in the middle of the park, which is not what's happening for them at the moment. And if they do manage to do that, then things are going to be a little bit more difficult for Royal College. But this is a line out for Royal. Taken in the middle by Umesh Madhushan. In fact, it was Pasindu Pereira in the middle. That's defended for a first few minutes by Isipathana, but now Royal have got the shove going. Now they're difficult to stop. Got to get the bodies in there, Isipathana, and now they do. And now they come away with it. It's available still for Royal. They'll decide to keep it tight without giving it away. And now they give it to Jayasinghe. Jayasinghe swims it wide to Bhanuka. Bhanuka bring him down, but he's still going, Bhanuka. That's an outstanding run by the centre. Here it is, still available now. Jayasinghe gives it to Vannakula Surya. Vannakula Surya will barge it up the middle. Isipathana are a man short on defence. Rankotke has stayed down. Looks like his knee injury has aggravated. This is where Royal really must score with Isipathana a man down. Here they come again. Vannakula Surya thumped back in defence. That was a bit slow from Royal. Here we go again. Nimshan Jayawardene has come into the line. Irshad, Sajad Irshad, and he's in touch. Sajad Irshad bundled into touch, and Isipathana breathe again. But that was an outstanding passage of play from Royal. And off your screens, unfortunately, I have to inform you that Rankotke, one of the most dangerous backs for Isipathana, has been stretchered off for an aggravation of his knee injury. And number 23, Ayendra Subasinghe, comes on for Isipathana. So that'll be a big loss for the Pathanians. And let's see whether the Royalists can capitalize, especially because it's the opposite number for Bhanuka Gamage, their most dangerous back as well. So now let's see whether Chandula Chula Bandara can pull another bit of magic form out of his hat and steal this ball. Very important line-out call for Shenal Silva here. Who's he going to call it to? Royal, you can bet your life will contest this. That's lost by Royal. It's going to be a try, easy try. An easy try for the Royalists. That was Supun Vannakula Surya at the end of that ball. In fact, it's Shaukat Lahir. Shaukat Lahir with that try. It's the easiest try he's ever going to score. He was only 5 meters out. Isipathana overthrew the ball. Overthrown there. Bad mistake by Desita. And there was absolutely no chance for Columbage to haul Lahir back at that range. And that was a nice predator's try from Isipathana to bring the points difference to 4 points. And Nimshan Jayawardene will do his best to bring it to just 2. Shaukat Lahir keeping Pires out of the side for Royal. He's been playing well and deserving his place in the side, but that kick is wide from Nimshan Jayawardene. It was an important kick, and instead of 12-10, it's 12-8. And Isipathana will need to come back and score going into half-time. Kongahawatta won't be in any real hurry to take this kick because it's only about 3.5 minutes to half-time. They'll be happy to go into half-time with a lead. And there he goes again to Sajid Irshad. Bhanuka Gamage to Nimshan Jayawardene, who's under pressure, but puts the ball into touch nicely close to the 50-meter line. And Isipathana will have a chance to attack from here. Real bad mistake by Desita in the line out a few minutes ago that led to that try. Let's see how Isipathana respond here. The line out's such an important part of anybody's game. And they've gone short. So is this a knee-jerk reaction from Shenal Silva? Who's going to go up here? Probably going to be Silva himself. Yes, it is. Beautifully done there. And here we go. Kongahawatta. Dilshan leaves it behind him. There's no knock-on, says the ref. And this is Disanayak at the bib prop, changing direction nicely. Still has it. Surya Rachi gives it to Rehan Silva, the fullback in the line. This is Silva. Looks for Ankot K but finds only Subhasingha. Silva again. Goes to ground. And the referee says hands in the ruck. Didn't keep his feet, the Royalist. And I think the referee got that one right. Because the Royalist reached over the top of that one. And Kongahawatta will try and put his team a little bit closer to the try line. And does it nicely. So he'll have a 5-meter line out, Isipathana. On the stroke of half-time, if they score here, things will get interesting. Because Royal will have to chase the game when they come back. It's about 15 meters to the line. Isipathana now. Shanal Silva wins it nicely at the front. Transfers it beautifully to the second pod. And now they've set up a lovely maul with good rolling capacity. I think that was taken down, but the referees let it go. Here we go now. Kongahawatta. Ayendra Subhasingha. Dummies to Gallage. Keeps going. Nicely done by him. Rehan Silva picks the ball up and Kongahawatta is in there. And the referee says holding on to the ball. It was good defense, good scrambling defense once again by Royal. Thought Ayendra Subhasingha held onto that ball for just a little bit too long. The new man on the park. And Jayasinghe puts his team back to where it all started. Except that the line-out ball will be with him now. And that's half-time. So here we are at half-time at the President's Trophy final. It's a cracking game here at the Royal College Sports Complex. Isipathana in the lead, the favourites, but they haven't looked as convincing. 12 points to 8. And don't forget, this is not the last that we're going to see of these teams. In a fortnight, in 2 weeks' time, 26th of July, we're seeing that all-star clash. And you can bet your bottom dollar there'll be quite a few players who are on the ground of these 30 that will be taking part in that, of course. They'll be playing for the same team, though. And we'll have a Trinity College Leyden upcountry team that'll come to do battle with them as well. So it's Kandy versus Colombo on the 26th. That's live and exclusive on the Papare.com. The Papare All-Star Game. We'll be back in 10 minutes with second half action from the President's Trophy. It's 12 points to 8. Isipathana lead. Very good evening and welcome back to this live coverage of the President's Trophy final between Isipathana and Royal, live from the Royal College Stadium. Referee Irshad Khada is about to blow for the resumption of the game after the half-time break. And Konga Hawatta puts a nice high one into the hands of Shaukat Lahir, the try scorer. He doesn't get very far. Absolutely destroyed in defense. And Gail Jasinghe knows that he can't put this ball into touch. Puts it right into the hands of Punchiheva, who puts a nice little chip in. Gallage chasing it, but that was beautifully done by Sergeant Irshad. And now Nimshan Jayawardena dances his way for at least 60 meters. Wonderful run by Nimshan Jayawardena. Those weaving hips of his. A superb run. And Jasinghe now looking to capitalize on that amazing work by his captain. But again, big defense by Isipathana. 2 big hits already. This is Banuka Gamage. Gamage hands one off. Nicely done. This is Irshad coming back. He's upended, but it's still available for all. This is a lovely passage of play from the Royal team. Nikila Gunawardena, the big man, brought down by the Isipathana captain. Gunawardena waits. Now Nimshan. Nimshan stepping. Still holds on to the ball. That was good work by the Royal captain, but now it's ripped off him. But illegally, says the referee. He's got his arm up for a penalty. And the Royal deserved that penalty the way they played. Isipathana choosing to kick the ball away a little earlier. And from that return, kick return, they've looked really deadly. So now, just like in the first half, Isipathana's defense will be severely tested because Royal will want to get their rolling maul going here. It's only 5 meters out. The Pathanians defended one successfully earlier, but can they do it the second time around as well? 2 pods for Royal. The referee has said something, I don't know what it is. He said time off. He's having a chat with his assistant referee. And so we don't know what's really going on because this wonderfully designed Sky Pavilion here doesn't allow us to see directly under us. So we can't see the 5 meter line or the touch line on this near side. And that's unfortunately the fate for the thousands of people who bought tickets as well. Luckily, I haven't paid for my ticket, so I'm not going to be asking for any money back. But that was quickly done by Royal at the front of the line out. Pasidu Pereira. This is a big drive by the Royalists. Is he going to go over? Pretty close now. But the referee's got his arm out for a penalty. Holding on to the ball, he says. And they move it onto the 5 meter line. And Konga Hawatta with a good angle on his left foot, but doesn't find very good touch. Only about 20 meters, maybe less. But they'll have the ball, so they'll need to roll this one out of trouble. Royal have looked dangerous. Nimshan Jayawardena is the man who made that wonderful run to ignite this whole Royal attack. And they've got to make sure that they don't give him the ball again. They go to the front of the line out. But the referee said there was a knock forward by an Isipathana hand off the front. And now they'll have another defensive line with Nimshan Jayawardena moving into the middle. He'll be calling for that ball for sure. Good tactician Nimshan. He's captain Trinity at under 16 when they won the All Ireland Championship alongside Ratwata. And now he's hoping for under 19 glory. Gail Jasing, a lovely ball. Delayed it beautifully. That's him under the posts. A wonderful angle. Gail Jasing delayed that pass. Held on to it for as long as he possibly could. And Jasing hit a beautiful angle. I was talking about him earlier because I could see that there was something in the offing from him. But it was a wonderful hit. Lovely decoy running from the Royal backs as well. Unfortunately, you can't see this. You can't see it on the on your screens. But it was Akash Iddawala running an inside angle from Gail Jayasinghe, drawing one defender. Then you had Bhanuka Gamage going outside him. And from under his shoulder, Nimshan Jayawardena pops up, takes a lovely pass. Jayasinghe delayed and delayed as long as he could. It was a lovely pass by Jayasinghe. And puts his captain into space, absolutely unscathed under the posts. And this is for the lead. So it's now 14 points to 12. And after an outstanding passage of play from the resumption of the half, Royal are looking like the team to beat. Sorry, it's 15 points to 12 at the moment. A 3-point lead for the Royalists. And Isipathana do look a little shell-shocked by the quality of that try from Royal. It was not the fact that Royal scored. It was the ease with which they scored that I think Isipathana have got a little stressed about. But now from the restart, Royal fumbling. They've got to maintain their integrity here in defense. They've got to stay strong now that they just scored that wonderful try. Can't afford to give it away in the minutes just after the resumption. But look for Amalka Gunaratne. He's not the man to be outdone here. He won't want Nimshan Jayawardena to be the guy who scored the most impressive try of the game. So watch for him off the back. Here he goes. Shaukat Lahir. Doesn't get him the first time. Has a bit of help from his friends. Goes into the midfield. Kongahawatta to Silva. Silva to Ranasinghe, the replacement. Inside to Galage. Galage stepped one. No, they hang on to his jersey. It's great work there from the Royal defense scrambling. Surya Rachi now to Isuru Dilshan. Dilshan rumbling it up in the middle. This is Surya Rachi again. Surely these Royal backs are offside. Yes, says the referee finally. And Patana hitting back from the restart. Royal vulnerable. Made a mistake in collecting that kickoff and are paying for it now. So here we go. This is a sign of an unbeaten team. They're a team that don't like to be behind on the scoreboard. They've been behind a couple of times this season against Trinity and against Royal. But it's not a position they enjoy. So Isuru Dilshan steps up now to level the scores. And this is an important kick for the big second rower. He's got to calm his team's nerves, get them back on a level playing field. But the ferocity of that attack and that run from Amalka Gunaratne was outstanding. He was always going to come off the back there. But the damage he created was excellent. But you've got to have players running off his shoulder. And it's not the sporting silence that greeted Dilshan's first kick that greets his second one. And Dilshan off the posts. Doesn't get much closer than that. You know what difference a post can make. It made a massive difference to Chile in their penalty shootout with Brazil in the round of 16. It can mean the difference between winning a World Cup and losing it. And was that the difference that Isuru Dilshan needed? Gallagher trying to run it back. An outstanding tackle on him. Good hits from both teams in defense. Surya Rachi, the defense is up quickly, but Kongahawatta will take a couple of steps to his left. They've got to chase well now. Punchiheva chases well, and Rehan Silva grabs him. Bhanuka Gamage goes to ground. Good organization in defense now. Here we go, Nimshan Jayawardena. Tackled by both prop forwards in tandem. Gunawardena. This is Bhanuka in at first receiver. Vandakula Surya has a go. It's good tackle there. Here we go again. Royal, good continuity from them, but a lovely tackle. Great tackle from Rehan Silva, the fullback. Here we go now. Gal Jaisingha to Nimshan Jayawardena. Well tackled there by little Gal Lage, the try scorer. This is Vinitha Gunawardena. Well caught by his opposite number, Sudham Surya Rachi, who's stolen the ball off him. This is counter-attack ball now. Shenal Silva gives it to Bandara. In fact, it's Kolumbage. Kolumbage, good run by him. Lovely counter ruck by Royal, but just a couple of seconds too late. Kulasekaram takes it under pressure. And Nimshan Jayawardena will try and return this one with interest. It's a nice kick, but Kongahawatta's got it covered. Now Kongahawatta dancing in and out. Goes to ground, the referee says his... And finally now the ball is in touch. So this game has really showed signs of opening up. And already Shahir Hanifa for Royal is walking to the line out. I think they're going to need to make a change here pretty quickly. Otherwise Royal are going to suffer on defense. Their front three are looking a little tired. And Isipathana have the line out. Nicely won by Shenal Silva. Silva to Kongahawatta. Kongahawatta. Isuru Dilshan coming in nicely on the angle. Good tackle on him. But that was bad discipline by Royal. Sudham Surya Rachi says, I don't want the advantage, sir. I want the penalty. And that's the correct call. Akash Iddavela conceding a penalty there. He was not on his feet, on the wrong side, and chose to fall. Had to roll away and make that ball available, Iddavela. And let's see how costly this mistake is. That is a stunning kick. An absolutely stunning kick from Isuru Kongahawatta. The left footer. It's a nice angle for him. And he just floated into touch. Meters from the Isipathana, from the Royal try line. And Isipathana will fancy their chances if they can win this line out ball. Shenal, but well won by Pereira in the middle. Lovely body position now for Isipathana. They've got and they're over! This is Royal getting a taste of their own medicine. They've scored so many tries like that this season, the Royalists. And now they've had one scored against them. It was the same thing that happened in the first match between these two teams. I think they worked so hard at executing this rolling ball that they don't really work too hard in its defense. But an outstanding line out and execution. Pereira in the middle took it nicely. And you can see Shenal Silva right in the middle of it there. Lovely body position, legs pumping. And they're over with Omalka Gunaratna, the last man up with the ball. His second try of the game. But that try goes to all the forwards. And not only to the number 8. But credit also to Kongahawatta for that kick that landed them in that wonderful attacking position. And this is the thing about Isipathana this season. They really have been a team. They have been players, while Omalka Gunaratna and players like him have been really outstanding on the try-scoring front. They've all come together to make sure that they've won games and won them handsomely. Especially guys like this, Isuru Dilshan, stepping up when he was asked to and making the conversions. That one's not good, but he's made a couple that have counted. So back in front on the scoreboard, Isipathana will need to recollect from this kickoff and hit back because Royal have their tails up. Jayawardena has had a couple of runs and they know how dangerous he can be. So Kongahawatta takes it on the bounce and puts it straight up. And they get a good gain. A 30-meter gain here. So Royal will want to hit back strong from this line out. Nikhila Gunawardena goes up. And that's Vannakala Surya at the back with the ball. Still going Royal. This is better from them. Held up, says the referee, and the ball goes to Isipathana. The referee has got to shout to use it. You've got to tell the Royal players to use it or lose it. And referee explaining that when it went down, it was still a maul, and the ball didn't come out. And that's why he's given the turnover. The rule is that if it's taken into a maul, the team that did not take the ball in will get the ball from the resumption. The common mistake that a lot of people make is imagining that a maul becomes a ruck when the ball goes to ground, but it doesn't. A maul stays a maul. A collapsed maul is a collapsed maul. It's not a ruck. So what matters is how it starts and not how it ends. So Malka Gunaratna going off the back, but harried nicely by Gunawardena, who steals the ball. And now they've got some turnover. Royal through Pasindu Pereira. Umesh Sandharuwan. Umesh Madhushan. Now they've got the ball. Bhanuka. Bhanuka looks for Nimshan. Nimshan well tackled, but he manages to get the ball out to Gulasekaram. Coming back nicely. Royal. Now they look dangerous. Good tackle. Outstanding defense by Isipathana. Still got it through Vannakala Surya. Royal. Now Hanifa takes it forward. They've got to keep it tight, the Royalists. Jayawardena standing behind, expecting the ball. Now Jayasinghe rather. This is Gulasekaram has come off his wing, and Irshad puts a nice little pop back over his head. Good skills by Sajid Irshad. And I think the referee coming in for what might have been a dangerous tackle on Sajid Irshad. If we can see a replay of that, that will be great, but I don't think we're going to get to see one. And Gallagher, the try scorer, says you lifted the player up and you brought him down, got him a spear, and that's a yellow card. Yes, it did look like a bit of a dangerous tackle on Sajid Irshad. And referee Mushtaq calling it from where he was. He's right in front of it, assistant referee Mushtaq. And they're down a man. They're lucky it's not a red as well. So they've got a man advantage, and Gallagher has been one of the danger men. So now is the time for Royal to fight back. And I said at the outset, just before kickoff, I said that it's very important that Isipathana keep all their players on the park. And they haven't done that. So is that going to come back to bite them? Here we are. Royal advancing. And here's where the problems start for the defensive teams with Royal College. This is where this Royal Maul becomes so dangerous and the forwards become so deadly. Hanifa picking himself up off the ground. Told you a little while ago that he didn't seem as fit as he should be. Jayasinghe puts that one into touch. And there's no prizes for guessing exactly what's going to happen here. That's Royal swarming into that rolling maul. Here we go again. Isipathana have got better body position this time. Still marching their way towards the line. Still going. Wandakula Surya looks like he's got it at the back, and this is going to be a try for Royal. Yes, it is. That's a try. It's a second try for Shaukat Lahir. In fact, it wasn't Lahir. He looks a lot like Wandakula Surya from where we're seated. But it was Wandakula Surya, the hooker, that went in and grabbed that ball, controlled it beautifully, and they were always going to score a try from that. It's not a matter of if, it was always a matter of when. And Wandakula Surya dotting down the try to put them back on level terms on the scoreboard with Nimshan Jayawardena looking to convert this to put his team into the lead on his home ground. This is a very gettable kick for Jayawardena. That's a lovely kick by Nimshan Jayawardena. And he's put his team into the lead, 22 points to 20. And now we've got it all to play for. The Royal fans in the grandstand have gone absolutely batty. And Isipathana have begun a long trudge back. This is unlike them. Their body language is not looking good. Isipathana are down on the scoreboard again for the second time in the game. And now the try scorer will give it to his fly half. Could have put that into touch but chose not to. Now Surya Rache, who's been quiet this whole game, runs straight into Shaukat Lahir. Nicely done by Royal there in defense, but still Ayendra Subasinghe with the ball. Good counter-rucking by Royal, but the referee says a penalty off their feet. And you could see some Royal bodies falling over. They don't have Garlage with them now to try and attack or go into all-out attack. But Kongahavatta will put his team into the opposite 22. Maybe they'll try and roll it again. Let's see. Here's not winning that ball, but Shenal Silva managing to rescue it. He goes down awkwardly. And Gunaratna fighting his way towards the line, but well ripped off him That was superb work by Chandula Chulabandara. But the referee says he'll come back for the knock forward. So Royal with a scrum to relieve some pressure. Jayasinghe also off his left foot. His right foot, actually, he can use his right foot, but he'll have to run a bit to his left. To his right. Let's see what he does. No doubt he will be put under some pressure here. Good scrum by Royal. Nikhil Gunawardena comes away with it, but Shanal De Silva wraps him up. And now Omalka Gunaratna goes ahead. Oh, he's ripped it. Beautifully done by Omalka. He's going, is he? Yes, he is. He's going to score. Oh, he's knocked the ball on. He's knocked it on. Omalka Gunaratna has knocked the ball on. All he had to do was touch it down. And the number 8, in a shocking mistake. He's had such an outstanding season, this boy. And just when it came to the crunch moment, he was unable to dot it down. Now they've made the change. Madhuranga coming on for Sudham Suryarachi, who moves into the outside centre position in place of Ayendra Subhasinghe. Under pressure, but well done by Jayawardena there. And Kongahawatta. That was great play by Isipathana to rip that ball off through Malka. But unfortunately he couldn't dot it down. Such a shocking miss. But Royal did superbly to get back and harry him all the way. Silva winning the ball again. Now Madhuranga goes. Playing scrum off is Desatha, the hooker. Oh, that's a lovely run by Ayendra Subhasinghe. Subhasinghe knocks the ball on. Oh, that's a shocking mistake again from Subhasinghe, the young centre. And Royal come away with it. But they've lived dangerously, the Royalists. Only 2 crucial knock-ons to thank for being alive on the scoreboard still. It was a real shame because Ayendra Subhasinghe was through. He's moved into the fly half position, Ayendra Subhasinghe. So we got a bit of a reshuffle because of Gallage's sin binning. Rehan Silva and Sudham Suryarachi playing in the centres that looked like a knock forward. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Knock on, says the referee. And that's a terrible, terrible miss for Royal College. Bad form. We've had 3 knock-ons, and knock-ons may decide the game. Shouts of go, Patana, go. Isipathana can't afford to make any mistakes in the scrum this time. We've had Gunaratna. Is he going to go all the way? Still on his feet, Gunaratna. Getting there is Madhuranga in the end. Shanal Silva goes with it. And he's over. That's a try. It's a big prop forward. Disanayaka, who was at the right place at the right time. Omalka Gunaratna, lovely channel 1 ball again. He went off the back. He went laterally as he has been doing, unfortunately. Shenal Silva then took the second wave on. And it was Dissanayake, the outstanding try-scoring prop forward, who did well. Superb work from Dissanayake. And Isuru Dilshan now will try and put his team 5 points ahead on the scoreboard. This should be a fairly easy kick for the young lad. I wouldn't mind if he takes it further back a few meters. But let's wait and see how this goes. A very important kick. And Dilshan managing to get this one over. Easy as pie. So again the scoreboard changes and the lead changes hands. We are witnessing an outstanding game of rugby here at the Royal College Sports Complex at the President's Trophy Final. It is looking like it's going to end up an absolute cracker. We've come just into the 30th minute of the second half, so 70 minutes played. And in this last 10, it's still with everything to play for. 27-22. Don't forget that Royal came back from the dead against Trinity College to win that semi-final with the last play of the game. They will have that confidence with them. Trinity will know that Royal are capable of it, or Isipathana rather, will know that Royal are capable of it. So let's see how they deal with that sort of pressure. Wannakala Surya does the number 8's job at the back. Still dancing. Runs into the Isipathana captain. Just got news from Sabir that Gallage is back on the park, so Isipathana back to their full complement. But they still maintain the positional changes that they made. Super Singh at fly half, Rehan Silva at centre, and Konga Hawatta shifting to full back. And Sudham Suryarachi will go into the other centre position. So off that penalty, once again, Royal getting an attacking line out, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to roll this one towards the line. Off your screen, Nincham Jayawardene also having a chat with his midfield. Might see another little decoy move coming along. Nikhil Gunawardena wins it for Royal. This one is tight. Isipathana have their bodies back, but now Royal get the march on. Here they go. Here they go again. Wannakala Surya. That one's gone down on its own, and now Wannakala Surya comes away with it. Nice ball for Vinitha Gunawardene, now holds it up. Gamage takes it into contact. Now Royal going back where they came from. Lovely tackle on Gunawardene. Umesh Madhushan, in fact. And now Vinitha Gunawardene goes blindside again. This is Nikhil. Nikhil Gunawardene, good ball carrier. Oh, and he's knocked it on. He's knocked it on, the Royalist. Looked like Umesh Madhushan there, who put the ball down. He's absolutely devastated, obviously, and so are his team. But it was a good passage of play by the Royalists that ended with that knock-on. Dissanayake, who's managed to stay on, has been joined by his old buddy, Darling, in the front row. Good technique in the front by the Isipathana props. Let's see whether they can do a number on this tiring front five for Royal. Wannakala Surya has been outstanding though. Omalka Gunaratna now picks up. Two people it takes to take him down. And he's knocked the ball on. No, he hasn't. Gallage back from the sin bin. Gives the pass inside beautifully. This is Gallage. Madhuranga goes over the ball. And Ayendra Subasinghe. Oh! And Sudham Suryarachi knocks it on. Sudham Suryarachi only had to collect it. He had either himself or any number of people on his left to score that try. But it was a real shame that he couldn't hold on to the ball. Are these knock-ons going to come back and haunt Isipathana? Omalka Gunaratna went off the back there. Shenal Silva did well. And it was Ayendra Subasinghe who came away with the ball. And it was a lovely inside ball to Gallage, who kept it alive. Subasinghe again kept it going, and Sudham Suryarachi really should have done better to hold on to that ball that Royal have now managed to rescue. Good defensive work by Madhuranga. Well, we've seen two of the match winners, Omalka Gunaratna and Sudham Suryarachi, knock the ball on for Isipathana. This is Ayendra Subasinghe. Oh, what a wonderful run by Subasinghe. And the arriving players going off their feet. That was Madhuranga. Well, it looks like Rankotge's injury might have been a blessing in disguise, because Ayendra Subasinghe has really stamped his authority on this game. He's made some beautiful darts. He's only a young player, slight player, but he's got some outstanding acceleration and great vision also. Just a few minutes left on the clock. Can they hold on? This lead is nothing for Royal. If they get into the Royal, into Isipathana 22, they will back themselves to score, and Isipathana know that. So we are down to the wire here in this President's Trophy. It's looking like it's going to go down to the final play of the game. Varnakula Surya. Royal, they win it despite the contest. Gail Jayasinghe. It was a good pass, and this is Nimshan Jayawardena. Gives it to Irshad. And that ball is lost forward. And it goes into touch. I would love to see that previous ball, because it looked very much like there was a bit of an obstruction. Gail Jayasinghe passing behind his inside centre, who had already committed, literally committed two defenders. And now Umesh Madhusan goes to ground. This is the big prop, Pativanka Pereira. Good tackle on him by Isuru Dilshan, hard-working player. This is the new man on the field, Nadun Jayawardena. Big player. And now this is Chandula Chula Bandara. Good tackle, but still better counter-rucking by Royal. Nimshan Jayawardena dances around his namesake and his teammate, Vinitha Gunawardena, calling for his hooker. This is Swarnakula Surya. Does well. He's been really good today. Nimshan Jayawardena stepping. Good pass from Bhanuka, but Sajid Irshad has no option but to come back into the field of play. They managed to retain the ball, Royal. This is good continuity from them. That's a good tackle, Gunaratna. Good technique from him. And now they've got numbers on the outside, have they? Bhanuka Gamage, Shenal Silva brings him down. The flanker has been outstanding today as well. They know that this is the critical passage of play. Both teams know that. Left it behind. Referee says no knock on. No, he does. He blows the whistle. And Isipathana will breathe again. It was fantastic continuity by Royal. They kept it for phase after phase after phase. But unfortunately, just their hands letting them down at that last moment, as it has done Isipathana in crucial moments. Umesh Madhushan knocking on, and there was another knock on again by a Royal player. Real shame, but this is what differentiates schoolboy rugby from professional rugby. This is what you don't find the All Blacks doing. But everyone's human, and these are tired legs. Omalka Gunaratne has managed to come away with it, but Royal have turned it over now. Is there one last gasp rest in this Royalist team? Gunaratne makes another high-profile mistake. Now Royal. They'll be patient, Royal. They know that if they get a penalty, they can kick it into touch. Isipathana have to keep their discipline. Gamage with a nice run, but runs out of space. Good technique to bridge that ball from the Royal player. Still outside the 22, Royal. They're calling for the forwards. And they double and triple up. That's good technique from this big forward pack. This is where they're the most dangerous, Royal. They're still alive. It's a 5-point game. Is this going to be a repeat of 2002? Gail Jayasinghe. Bhanuka. Bhanuka runs back into traffic, but well grabbed by Columbage. But still holding on. This is fantastic continuity from Royal. Still holding on to the ball. This is outstanding. Jayasinghe stands and collects the ball. Oh! It's knocked forward. Such a shame by Iddawala. Royal, after passage and passage and passage of play, they've just gone up to the ref, Shenal Silva. And I think the referee told him, yes, it's the final play of the game. I think that's what he said. Gallagher is lying prone on the ground. Our camera pans to him now. But Akash Iddawala, the third in a series of 3 knock-ons. Umesh Madhushan started the rot. And unfortunately for Royal, they have not been able to convert some outstanding passages of play into points. And you've got to sense the frustration of this Royal team. Isipathana holding on for dear life. They did this against Royal the first time the teams met. They did this against Trinity College. Do they have in it? They have it in them for one last effort. This is Gunaratne. Goes off the back. Still going. Oh, Marco Gunaratne trying to undo the mistakes that he made earlier on in the game. Still going. Now his captain joins him. And it's a knock forward. The referee looks at his watch. Looks again. And then awards a scrum. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Omalka, he's down and he's hurt. Looks like it's a cramp, is it? Really hope it's nothing serious. Oh dear, this doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for Omalka Gunaratne. He's going to stay on the park if he can help it. They probably got to get someone else on though, because they can do without an injured player. Well, he stays on. Very, very important play. Important scrum. Everyone has to do their job right. Vinitha Gunawardena to Jayasinghe. They read it this time, Isipathana. And once they kick this out, I think that will be the game. 27-22. Gunaratne is on the floor once again. His knee is done, I think. Got to really feel sorry for him. And Konga Hawatta will take his time. before he drives his nail into the coffin of Royal. And that's it. That's the game. 27 points to 22. And the team swarmed towards Omalka Gunaratna, who's on the floor. He's played his heart out, scored 2 tries today. But take nothing away from this Royal College team. They tried manfully, they did their best. And towards the end, you would have had to put your money on them, except for a few crucial knock-ons. Gunaratna went over the line and knocked the ball on. Sudham Suryarachi knocked the ball on as well in a try-scoring position. Royal knocked the ball on 3 times, unfortunately. But this was an outstanding match for both teams. They did brilliantly well. Royal fought their hardest and came within a whisker of grabbing it. They led twice late in the game, but it was just not enough. And you can see the outpouring of joy from this Isipathana team that has waited for this double for a long, long time. An undisputed double as well. No court battles, no nothing about that. But it really was a superb performance under pressure by Isipathana. A man down for 10 minutes in that second half as well. But they responded brilliantly. And Shenal Silva deserves to be a double winning captain just by his performances on the field. What an outstanding player. What an outstanding team. Commiserations to Royal. Congratulations to Isipathana for winning the double in the 2014 season. We've got a lot more action lined up for you. Don't forget to join us for that All-Star game where many of these players will do battle together and against each other. It's going to be a cracking game on the 26th of July as the Papare All-Stars meet. Thanks very much for joining us. My name is Shanaka. We'll be bringing you lots more action on thepapare.com. We are sharing the passion, and you can see that passion on the field. I don't need to say anything more about it.